Good evening, I'm Grace Brister. Alabama defeated Texas A&M 24-20 with an upset scare on the final play of the game. It all came down to this. 3 seconds left in the game, the Aggies were sitting at the 2-yard line. The Tide's defense had to stop A&M from scoring. Texas A&M quarterback Haynes King took the snap and threw it towards wide receiver Evan Stewart, who missed the ball, giving Alabama the victory. Alabama's win improves their record to 6-0 on the season. Tide head coach Nick Saban discussed the final play and how the team has the ability to handle situations like this.
If we'd have played and done things the right way, they wouldn't have been in that situation. But when you get in that situation, you got to embrace adversity sometimes and step up and make plays, and they did that. And I think that's really, really important that they have the competitive maturity to be able to do that.
I was calm. I knew, it falls back to our level of training in that situation. We practiced rep after rep, and I was happy because I knew exactly what was going to go down. Cause I trusted in the defense.
Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher also discussed the final play of the game, and he says his team competed hard. He says that the final play wasn't executed and the Aggies scored on the exact play earlier in the game. Fisher says they'll have to go back and watch it and see what happened.
The same play we had scored on earlier, and we had hit Moose on, and they changed the coverage, and he went right back and made the perfect read where we were going to. They played it off the first time, and we knew if they did it, we had a one-on-one backside, and if they didn't the other way, we had our 2 looks on the front side in which we wanted. And you work on them, and you have them. We have what we wanted to go to. We knew what we wanted to go to, and you just got to make them. And that's what good teams and good play. They give them credit. They made the play when they had to, but give our team credit for fighting to be there, and we just got to learn from that and make sure we capitalize on it the next time.
Alabama soccer faced LSU today. Alabama was first on the board with Kate Henderson scoring in the 20th minute of the match, making it 1-0 Alabama. Now in the 31st minute, the Tide's Gianna Paul scores. Alabama led 2-0 at halftime. The Tide added 3 goals in the second half. Riley Parker scored the final goal, and Alabama wins 5-0. It's Alabama's 9th straight win, and the Tide improves to 6-0 in SEC play. Turning now to Bama in the NFL, Jalen Hurts had 239 passing yards, 61 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns for the NFL's only unbeaten team, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles won 20-17 over the Arizona Cardinals. They're 5-0. Derrick Henry had 28 carries for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Titans, leading them to a 21-7 victory over the Washington Commanders. And speaking of the Commanders, Brian Robinson had his first start after being shot on August 28th. Eddie Jackson had 9 tackles for the Chicago Bears in a loss to the Vikings. Trayvon Diggs led the Cowboys with 6 tackles in a win over the Rams. Devontae Smith had 10 receptions for 87 yards for the Eagles in a win over the Cardinals. Amari Cooper had 7 receptions for 76 yards for the Browns in a loss to the Chargers. Detroit Lions cornerback and former Alabama defensive back Savion Smith was injured and left today's game against the New England Patriots in an ambulance. In the first quarter, Smith hit Patriots tight end Hunter Henry and fell face first. Smith was taken to the hospital to have his neck evaluated. Lions head coach Dan Campbell says that Smith has full motor skills. Turning to NASCAR now, it's the Bank of America Roval 400 in Charlotte. Christopher Bell held off Kevin Harvick in overtime. After a pit stop, Bell got new tires, which took him to 2nd place. He held off Harvick to win it and get a spot in the next round of playoffs. Bell and Chase Elliott were the only 2 drivers to clinch a spot in the next round of playoffs with a win, as Elliott won the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega last week. And that's going to do it for us tonight in sports, but stick around. WVUA 23 News at 10 will be right back.